Welcome to my channel. Have a nice day. Where in the world do you see us from? With a weak orchid that has lost its top like this. Today, I will guide you how to restore the vitality of this orchid, so that it can grow, develop and bloom like other normal orchids. Let's get started. I saw this orchid pot on the street, as you can see. It has withered the stem and died the top, only one leaf left. However, the leaf is still green. I see that it still has the ability to recover. The orchid pot is covered with a lot of dirt, traces of neglecting it for a long time without care. I will take the orchid out of the pot and check the health of the plant. The growing medium in the pot looks very dry and lacks nutrients. But it's okay, I will remove all of this growing medium, avoiding the risk of pathogens in it. Remove the dry or dead leaves and flower branches. Help create conditions for the plant to be cleaner and more airy. Cut off the flower branches and dry stems. Many roots are dead, dried and have an unpleasant stench. I will cut off all of these damaged roots to avoid spreading bacteria and pathogens. To avoid spreading bacteria and pathogens. Cut off the dried flower roots. Pour 3 liters of clean water at room temperature into the pot. Then, I wash the orchid in this pot of water. Use a soft cloth dipped in water to remove the dried and stuck stains on the leaves, stems, and roots of the orchid. Removing dirt will help the leaves to be airy, creating conditions for the plant's photosynthesis process to be more favorable. It also helps to remove some of the pathogens or insects that stick to the plant. Then, wash the orchid again with clean water. Dry the water on the leaves, stems and roots of the orchid with a soft cloth. Then place the plant in a cool place to dry naturally for about 5 hours. Next, I will make fertilizer to supplement nutrients for the orchid. Do you have cinnamon powder? I use 2 tablespoons of cinnamon powder like this. Put it in a jar. Add 0.5 liters of boiling water. Then stir well, so that the cinnamon powder absorbs the water evenly and does not clump. Will help them release nutrients faster and more. Cover and let stand for 5 hours. After 5 hours, the nutrients have dissolved into the solutio. Stir the solution well to dissolve the nutrients evenly. And filter out the cinnamon powder residue through a thin layer of cloth. Cinnamon powder always has antibacterial properties. Helps orchids not to rot and fungus. Cinnamon water will help prevent and control fungus and bacteria that cause diseases on orchids very well. Continue to dilute the solution with 6 liters of water at room temperature and start using. First, I use a soft cloth dipped in the cinnamon powder solutio. And gently wipe the orchid leaves. This helps to remove the maximum amount of fungus and bacteria left on the leaves. Protecting and enhancing the health of the orchid is extremely important at this stage, to ensure it can revive like a normal orchid. I put the orchid in a cup and pour the cinnamon water into it, covering the entire root of the orchid. Soak the orchid in cinnamon water for 30 minutes. To both disinfect the roots and allow the roots to absorb the nutrients in the solutio. While waiting, I use a soft cloth soaked in the cinnamon water and wipe the leaves of the other orchids. Leaves are often a haven for fungi and harmful insects, so regular leaf cleaning for orchids is essential. It helps leaves to be clean of dirt and ventilated. The plant will photosynthesize to synthesize and transport nutrients better. It also helps to supplement nutrients from fertilizers to plants through leaves, helping plants grow healthy and balanced. After 30 minutes, remove the orchid from the cinnamon solution and leave it in a cool place. This is moss leaves. It is often used as a substrate to grow weak or small orchids. I will pour cinnamon water into this moss. Stir evenly so that the moss absorbs the cinnamon water. Then soak them for 30 minutes to both disinfect and let them absorb the nutrients in the solution. After 30 minutes, remove the moss from the cinnamon water and squeeze it dry. I will use this moss as a substrate for the orchid. Use a pot with good drainage holes to place the orchid in it. A pot with good drainage will avoid waterlogging for the plant after each watering. After placing a layer of moss on the bottom of the pot, I place the orchid in it and use the remaining moss to cover the roots. It will provide the roots with the necessary nutrients for a long enough time. Use clean water in a spray bottle. And water the leaves and roots with a sufficient amount of water to create moisture for the plant to absorb. Then place the orchid in a cool place with gentle sunlight for the plant to recover best. You can store the remaining cinnamon water in the freezer and use it for the next time. Or use it to water other orchids. You can water the orchid with cinnamon water once every 2 weeks. Oat only has strong antiseptic and antibacterial properties. Cinnamon water also helps provide orchids with essential nutrients, such as calcium, iron, vitamins A, C, K. When using cinnamon water to water or mist orchids, it can reduce the risk of root rot, tip rot. Very common and dangerous diseases for orchids, especially in humid environments. Cinnamon water also stimulates strong root growth. For newly planted orchids, plants recovering from disease or weak roots, watering with diluted cinnamon water periodically can help the roots grow faster, stronger, and increase the ability to absorb nutrients. Especially water mixed with cinnamon powder or cinnamon essential oil not only has a pleasant aroma, using cinnamon water also helps repel harmful insects such as ants, aphids, or small worms that often attack young shoots and orchid leaves. Cinnamon is always a very effective natural solution in caring for and protecting orchids. And this is the result after 2 weeks. I will check how fast the plant recovers. Lots of new roots have grown healthy and green. Isn't that great? The plant has recovered very well, with many strong, healthy roots. And now I will repot the plant in the pine bark substrate. I continue to use cinnamon solution to supplement nutrients for the orchid. Spray water to moisturize the leaves. Welcome to my channel. Have a nice day. Then place the plant in a cool place with gentle sunlight, which will be good for the plant's recovery. After 1 month, let's see the results. Oh, there is a young plant growing here. It is very strong and healthy, it's great. There are also many new roots. This proves that the orchid has recovered and developed like a normal orchid. I am very happy with this result. Hopefully, the video will help you have more useful experiences to care for and restore orchids at home. Thank you for watching the video. Wish you good health and success. Goodbye and see you again.